In this video, I'm going to be sharing some information about Longhorse, another one of Trevor Henderson's creations. The first half of the video is some general facts from the Wiki about this character, and the second half is a creepypasta about Longhorse. Be sure to like and subscribe, and enjoy the video. Longhorse. Longhorse is a heroic internet urban legend creature created by Trevor Henderson that originated from 2018. Appearance. Longhorse appears to be a creature that has a horse skull without a jaw for a head. Its pale neck, made of pliable skin, appears to be infinitely long, with some pieces of black mane hanging all over the neck. It also creates cracking noises when bending its neck, which bends like a finger, allowing it to create as few or as many joints as possible. Its neck doesn't have to connect in linear space due to its properties. Interestingly, Longhorse is said to smell like cinnamon. History. Longhorse was established as a legend when a picture of the creature started spreading over the internet since the 24th of August 2018, when a user named Trevor Henderson published a picture showing Longhorse with the description that he had had a dream of the horse beforehand. Later on, another picture had been released of the creature by Trevor Henderson, where it appears to be in the suburbs, and he named the creature Longhorse. An ancient cave painting has also been found of the Longhorse around 3 humans, and in the description it is revealed that Longhorse has been around since ancient times. Interestingly though, the ancient drawing depicts that Longhorse is the human's protector. He is purely harmless, and his goal is to warn humans of upcoming dangers. If a human hears a neck crack or sees the long neck of the creature, the message is that a disaster will occur. Not because of Longhorse, but because of what will happen later on. One more picture of Longhorse has been posted. It simply says, "A new sighting, he's on the move," meaning Longhorse is most likely going somewhere to warn the people in that area of an upcoming disaster. Personality. Not much is known about Longhorse's personality. However, as mentioned before, it is known that he cares about humans, serving as their protector and warning them of disasters. He is also mentioned several times to have a curious nature, but exactly how he displays his curiosity is currently unknown. According to small quips made by Trevor Henderson, Longhorse enjoys, but most likely does not require, offerings such as apples and affection. In a Twitter comment, Trevor says, "You could put an apple near it, and if you gained its favour, the apple may blacken and wither before your eyes, which is how you know it had accepted it." Abilities. Longhorse is able to foretell disasters and teleport, and he uses these abilities to warn others. He is able to break physics due to the infinite nature of his neck, and he can defy gravity and seemingly levitate. He can contort his body and adjust the number of joints in his neck, and his neck doesn't have to connect in a linear space. Longhorse can enter people's dreams, and Trevor once mentioned that if someone were to stare at Longhorse's neck for a while without looking away, it would eventually crumble into dust, which would most likely not affect Longhorse due to his paranormal nature. He can also give off the smell of cinnamon. Trivia. Longhorse was created by Trevor Henderson, who is known for making various bizarre creatures over the internet. His other creations include Siren Head, Cartoon Cat, and the Man with the Upside Down Face, to name a few. On Twitter, Trevor posted an artwork of Longhorse, calling him the patron saint of forewarning, of disaster averted, of curiosity, for better or worse. Trevor confirmed that Longhorse is the only one of his species when he responded to an ask on Tumblr about his creations possibly being a part of a species. He name-drops Siren Head, Longhorse, Bonesworth, and Mr. Mascot as a few of the many monsters that are the only one of their kind. Longhorse is also known as the Dream Horse, as several posts mention he can appear in dreams as well as real life. Trevor has stated several facts about Longhorse's physiology on his Tumblr, which include supposedly being able to move through layers of reality, kind of like how a needle moves through thread, possibly having a body in a pocket dimension somewhere, forever existing and not existing. If someone somehow never looks away from Longhorse, the observed portions of the neck will wither up and crumble into dust. Trevor once stated that he doesn't have a body that we could see. It's always just more neck, even when it breaks the laws of physics, like an optical illusion. If he has a true body, it's in a form we can't really picture, and not in our dimension. Maybe at the culminating point, in the center of where many dimensional layers meet, like a nucleus, with the neck and head projecting out. Trevor has confirmed that Longhorse and Siren Head are aware of one another, possibly being enemies due to their differing views of humanity. A visit from Longhorse. Ellie J tossed and turned. She couldn't sleep. She counted the missing patches of the textured ceiling. She ran her tongue over the space in her smile where her front teeth once sat. She thought about school and hot lunches, but Ellie J still could not sleep, so she stirred. Her bed squeaked and she froze. Was it loud enough to wake him? Loud enough to send him yelling and carrying on down the hall? She waited in the dark for the door at the end of the hall to fly open, bouncing off the wall with a pop, adding more cracks to the drywall. She did hear a sound though, but from downstairs. Was he awake? No, there were 2 empty bottles in the bathroom trash can. He could be sleeping until lunchtime tomorrow. The sound again. A slick creak. A whisper of dry hinges in the dark. She sat up and slid off the bed, her bare feet slapping the floor. Light illuminating the edges of the door. Good. It wasn't closed. The doorknob was busted. He'd broken something last time he was upset, when he hurt her wrist and made her ears ring. So when it closed, she was essentially locked in. The floor felt cold and smooth to her feet. Her nightgown, her favourite, despite being little more than a pink and faded collection of pill balls and lint, kept the chill at bay. She stopped at her bedroom door and pushed it open, glancing to the right. She saw the bathroom. To the left, at the very end of the hall, stood her father's bedroom door, still shut, his snoring reminding her of the growling belly of something large and mean. Stepping into the hall, the light flickered, and she gasped, jumping back into the room. She reminded herself she was being silly. She needed to investigate the sound, or at least close the front door. Mrs. Howell told her whole class that being in kindergarten meant they were bigger and that more would be expected from them. She found that being one of the taller ones in the class meant that more would be expected from her above them all. Approaching the stairs in front of her father's bedroom door, she looked down into the living room. The sight confused her. A pipe? Long, thin, and pale. It seemed to float, suspended across the living room a few feet from the floor. She looked to the bedroom door and ranked the dangers, then proceeded down the stairs. At the bottom, she walked under the pipe. It moved gingerly. She could see long, thin black strands hanging down. She reached up and touched the pipe, cold and soft. The flesh rippled. She heard a sound in the kitchen and followed the pipe. Occasionally, she reached up again to run her fingers along its impossibly smooth surface. The hair felt wet. She stopped and looked behind her. The pipe, or whatever it was, stretched out the front door and into the front yard. A nudge. Ellie J jumped. She turned and wanted to scream, but the sight seized her, and she stood perfectly still, arms down at her side. A face, a long face, like a horse. No, a horse skull, but the same thin skin pulled tight over the face. The eyes were dark, a deep socket that was simultaneously void and filled with expression. The skull raised up, the neck bent with a tiny crack, like the joints of a finger. The hair waved like hanging moss as the creature swayed. "Hello," Ali said. The creature leaned down, the joints vanishing with cracks and pops. The nose of the skull nudged her. She touched the top of its nose and ran her fingers over the scattered teeth. No lower jaw, just the top of the head connected to a long neck that she realised snaked through her house. "Longhorse," Ali giggled. Longhorse shook. She giggled again. Upstairs, the snoring stopped. She could hear him yell. She woke him. "He's gonna be so mad," Ali said, her voice trembling. She looked up at Longhorse. "You better go." The creature lowered its head again, this time turning it sideways towards her. A mass of hair tumbled off the top of the head. Hold. She didn't hear the voice. She simply felt it somewhere deep in the recesses of her mind. Gentle, free of malice. She reached out and wrapped her tiny fingers through the strands of hair. "Now what?" she whispered. "Hold on." Her feet lifted, the neck quickly disentangling from the house, pulling her through her home and winding back towards the front door. She flew through the air as it did, clearing every ceiling and doorway, soaring over the furniture and trash-strewn floors. She squealed. She laughed. She laughed so loud, and laughed louder still, when she discovered just how loud she could be. She grabbed on with her other hand. They were leaving the house, and the cool air kissed her face, and the flapping strands of hair tickled her nose. "Where are we going?" she cried out. Her heart lifted. She was so high in the air now, she could see stars. But these were new. Far. Far? She smiled. Far. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And an even bigger thank you to my patrons. You guys are enabling me to keep making videos like this. Having that little bit of extra support over there really helps me out, so I just want to let you guys know I appreciate each of you who have chosen to support me that little bit more over on Patreon. For anyone who wants to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description below. There's a couple of different tiers, so you can get some extra content and that type of stuff if you're interested. If you're not able to, that's completely fine as well. Just watching my videos, giving a thumbs up, dropping a comment, and subscribing really helps out too. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time in the next drawing video. I'll see you then. Bye.